Brittany burst into tears when the doctor delivered the news. She refused to believe it at first. How was this even possible? There was no way they could be twins. They didn't even look alike. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. Brittany Henley was 29 years old when she divorced her husband. Their marriage wasn't working anymore, and she was tired of being the only one trying to make things work with her ex. So she left her old life behind and moved to Fort Payne, Alabama, where she would meet her future boyfriend. Brittany got a job at a small retail store and purchased a 3-bedroom home that needed a lot of renovations. She decided to renovate her new home to take her mind off things. She hoped that one day she would live there with her husband and children. Little did she know what she was in for. Brittany underestimated the cost of renovating a house, but slowly and surely she began making her way through her to-do list. Then, one day, she met Mark, and he swept her off her feet. Brittany met Mark Torres at work, and he immediately asked her out. She wasn't looking for a serious relationship, but she couldn't deny the instant feeling of attraction. So she agreed to go out with him, and the rest was history. But Brittany had no idea what trouble was looming down the road. A year later, Mark proposed to Brittany. For the first time in years, she felt like her life was going in the right direction. After finishing the renovation project, they decided it was time to start trying for a baby. For some reason, Brittany had trouble conceiving, and the doctors couldn't explain why she couldn't get pregnant. She was in perfect health, and so was Mark. But there was a devastating reason for that. The couple decided to consult a fertility specialist to explore the possibility of IVF treatment. They desperately wanted children and were ready to do anything to become parents. But when the fertility doctor ran some tests on Brittany and Mark, she discovered something that made her do a double take. Mark and Brittany's DNA samples looked almost identical. At first, the lab assistant thought that they might be cousins or relatives, which does happen sometimes. But when the doctor took a look at the samples, she was shocked to realize that they were actually fraternal twins. The doctor called the couple and asked them to visit the clinic as soon as possible. He explained to Brittany and Mark that the DNA tests indicated that they were fraternal twins. As you can probably imagine, Brittany and Mark were in complete shock. They didn't believe their doctor. "You can't be serious? There must be some kind of mistake," Mark shouted. "Sure, we have birthdays on the same day, but that's just a coincidence." Then he burst out laughing. But the doctor wasn't joking. Sadly, it wasn't a joke or a mistake. Mark and Brittany had the same mother and father. But how did this happen? The biological parents of the couple had died in a car crash when the couple was infants, and they had no close family willing to adopt them. The doctor, who wishes to remain anonymous, explained. They'd been taken into state care and were adopted out to separate families. Due to a filing error, neither foster family had ever been told that their adopted child had a twin, the doctor continued. Mark and Brittany had no other choice but to get a divorce.